your people. You can talk about the people.
White people suck. I can make fun of Karens all day.
Here's the thing. A lot of white people been having me rolling in a good way in the protest though. Like in a good way. Cause like, fuck you, 12.
Yo,
like 12.
Speaking of which, and I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because in the words of Jacob,
12.
that's a great segue.
Blues, nigga, run it.
So I tried to interview a different array of people, and I always ask this question, jokingly but seriously, to my white friends. Are like, you as a white person, what do you feel your role is into helping improve things, right? Because I think people talk about like silence is the like silence is no different than being on that side, right? Versus using your. I always say this, right? Every white woman has a Karen in them. It's whether you're using your Karen for good or evil.
Right.
Yes. Right. I've seen Katie go Karen. I've seen Katie go Karen.
Katie can go Karen. However,
slays it when she goes Karen because she's smart.
You know what's that's funny? It's like Karen, like how every woman got that. Black woman got that hood side.
Yeah.
It's like that's her Karen. Like, I can go off. They're going off as Karen.
I will never use my Karen for evil. I will never go against somebody in the food industry. I'll never go against somebody in customer service because I've done both.
Yeah.
That is.
I've been there, and I will never.
The food industry.
Katie will at you on Twitter and
I will
get
at
shit
you
done.
on Twitter, and I will call you out.
She said at you.
I will at you. I at Terry all the time.
I personally actively, anytime I see someone be a dick, to the detriment probably of Katie and I's relationship at times, will call people out. Or was that at HEB? I'm just going to quickly tell the story.
Oh yeah, this story. Oh, this
we
guy
were at
sucked.
HEB. We were having a great Sunday.
We were a little
drinking
tipsy
at our pool, drinking some rosé, I think. Whatever. Anyways,
you know the whitest shit you can in a pool. You know,
being
it's fine.
Very, very white folk.
we were
like,
hanging
we're
at a
hungry.
pool.
We need some more booze. So we go to the HEB.
I don't know why the way you just said that was funny.
That's why it was funny. Yeah.
So we're not drunk yet. So we drive to the store. Excuse me.
I'm gonna steal some Crown in a second.
And
I'm out of wine.
we're walking around this HEB and what's the neighborhood? Hewitt.
Hewitt.
And Hewitt it's such a nice HEB. The HEB is so nice. And you just see such a wide. Okay, all right, just hear me out here. Let me.
Go ahead.
It's nice.
Wait for the story.
It's nice because you see such a wide array of people in there, and just like good folk, you just see them in there. And then who do I see strolling down this aisle at HEB? Is this like kind of fat, bald-headed white guy in jean shorts? And he was walking away from me, and on the back of his like sweaty fat calves were white power, just like blatantly exposed, right?
On the calves?
Yeah, on the calves.
Like
so,
down,
like
and also in that like lettering that you would usually see on like the back.
it was
of
a prison tat, like
old English.
Old English
Yeah.
lettering.
It was 100% a prison tat. So, anyways, I see this idiot, and like Katie's like, Jacob, don't say anything to him.
He's like, look at that motherfucker. And I was like, yeah, he fucking sucks, but don't say anything to him.
And then at that moment, I see like a very lovely Asian family walk by with like some cute kids. And then like African-American family with some cute kids. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. So I walk up to him. I was like, hey, bro, cool tats. And he was like...
The way he said it. Hey, bro. Cool tag.
And then the guy was like, oh, hey, thanks, man. And I was like, no. Nope, not cool tats, bro.
Not cool. No.
That's and I'm fucking pointing my finger.
He literally, I could do a better interpretation of him going, not. He's like, not cool. Not cool tats.
Oh, that was funny.
So I didn't get violent, but I did make him feel uncomfortable. And that's
my God,
about
that's
as
funny.
good as I can do.
And his cousin/wife looked.
Oh, you should be doing
his wife definitely looked like a cousin.
Oh, that was funny.
Holy
That
fuck.
story was funny.
That was funny. That
It's like, I
was
was in this
hilarious.
beautiful HEB in Hewitt.
It's a beautiful HEB.
Beautiful
anyways.
Asian family with beautiful Asian kids.
Then I seen this lovely African American family. Lovely. That was good. That was good. It was nice and visual. Very visual.
Onterio's literally wiping his tears.
Oh my
with
God.
sweat. I can't tell.
That's
That was
funny.
Picasso. That was nice.
No, but seriously, let me ask you a question because I want to ask. Because today is actually like Blackout Tuesday, and it's supposed to be a time of listening. Whereas I've still seen a lot of white people post their little black square and then talk a bunch of shit. You know, or talk. You know what I
my
mean?
bad.
But I really want to know, like, what can Keep Waco Loud do to help the black community? What could we do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, instead of me telling you what I think I should do,
But that's
why don't
what
you tell us.
See,
what we
that's the
should do?
thing. It's bad enough us surviving. I mean, you guys have all the keys to everything. You already know what you need to do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like I shouldn't have to tell you.
that's right.
You know what I mean? Because you see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're around it, and then it's like you already know what you need to do. Now, what I would say to you, you know what you need to do. Tell the other people that. Show them.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
I'll
Show them.
I'll tell you when Keep Waco Loud, like, we get hit up usually, and we haven't lately because nobody's been open. But we've had many conversations with bars and restaurants and stuff. And I said this today on Facebook because there have been times where we've had meetings, and I'm not going to dox them right now. But we've had meetings with venues that I've sat down with the manager and they tell us, we ask them, what do you want in an event? And they're like, oh, yeah, we're open to anything. Like, we're really, like, you
Starts
can
out
do
like this,
anything.
then
But
it goes- it
but not
gets
hip
smaller
hop.
and
I don't think
smaller
that's
and
really our
smaller and
crowd.
smaller.
And it's like, and when immediately somebody says that, it's like, I get when you're a venue and you have a scene. You know what I mean? If you're a cigar bar, you're probably, or you're a place that does, you know what I mean? You're probably not going to be available for everything. That's fine. You've got a certain crowd. I can respect that. But when you tell me you can do everything, oh yeah, we're really down for everything. But then when you start like chipping away at it, they're like, but like, maybe not hip hop. And it's like, okay, now your racist is showing, you know? And me and Jacob have always been like, all right, the conversation is over at that moment, but we just never really further that relationship with that event space or venue. Right. And maybe it's time that we call them the fuck out and say, like, you know, that's racist. And why aren't you? Make them explain instead of being assumptive of it. Make them explain why not that genre.
Right.
So I think what you're
like
saying is exactly right.
That's
so
right. Yeah. I like
and you asked what and so Keep Waco Loud specifically, right? Like, just in a local sense of you guys being part of the community, you know what I mean? Like, we've kind of grown in this together. A lot of
Absolutely.
Okay. Speaking of which, you know what white people can do for us? Sponsor some shit. So you know what you can use your white money to pay us to do. Think of it as a form of reparations. It's not a complete 40 acres and a mule.
we'll take the 2.5.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We'll take the 2.5.
Completely derail your thought process right there.
We'll take the 2.5 and the pig and be fine.
Is that how you pay for? Is that how we pay for ads?
Yeah. You gotta. So what white people do is give us money. That's one thing. But no, on a serious tip. And I know. And here's the thing too. Like, I know. I try to, even though, like, being black and, like, understanding the systematic portions, the institutionalization portions of where we are in society.
Sure.
I understand where I stand as an identity, right? When people look at me, I understand what they see, right? But I try to avoid playing identity politics as a whole and judge people on their individualism. Right. So with that being said, I know you guys personally, and you know, you've had my back in certain situations and such. So, like, all those things apply, right? Like, So I know that you like where you stand in your beliefs and like and those things. I think it is a sense of like not only helping highlight some like these portions of our community, but also in those portions that have that mindset, making them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like growth requires an uncomfortable state.
Absolutely.
Right? Complacency keeps things in the status quo. For instance, and on a larger scale, I think white people having that conversation to make it uncomfortable, because you ask what you could do, it's like, well, we've been saying the same stuff for the longest, right? But it feels like those that understand, but the ones that don't, I feel like consciously make an effort. I don't know if it's because we're saying it. Like if you say it, it's like, oh,
now I
you know what I
see
mean? Yeah. So you gotta have that. I use this example, right? So it's on brand that I date white chicks, but so one of which is an actual therapist, right? And the organization she works for, she was trying to talk to our supervisors about putting a discussion about the Black Lives Matter movement, all the protests on their agenda, and they wouldn't do it. And she was trying to like say like, no, this is a conversation we need to have. This is a portion of the population that we serve. Why are we not talking about this? And so her supervisor called her versus sending an email. I know why she did that, because it doesn't leave a paper trail.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
We talked about that.
So she calls her and
Terry
like,
needs to do that sometimes.
she calls her and is like, hey, I took this off the agenda because we feel like this would be an uncomfortable conversation. And I'm paraphrasing, right? Like this, I'm paraphrasing, but she's like, this would be an uncomfortable conversation. Not everybody agrees. It'll be really divisive, yada, yada. She's giving all the excuses why we shouldn't talk about it. And she's like, well, that's the whole point. Like, you know what I mean? These are conversations we need to have. Like, and a lot of that population that she works with are Karens that are supplying social programs to minority communities, which seems very counterproductive if you don't want to have this conversation. Wow. Right? So it was as a white woman, her trying to push the conversation to other white women that if they don't want to have a conversation with her, I know damn well they don't want to have a conversation with me. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you have to get them uncomfortable with the most comfortable person that they could possibly have.
Yeah, because when we come out and say this, they're just radical.
Yeah.
They're this, they're that, they're this. But when you say it, it's like, wait. And keep saying it, then more people start catching on to what you're saying.
Absolutely.
And they're like, oh, man.
Blues, nigga, run it.
Before we move into our next subject, like we say, make sure you guys know that every king and queen
needs their crown.
Royal.
That is.
So make sure you, and look at this, check this out. If you guys don't notice on my face, we got the unofficial, official Crown Royal mask. Yeah. That shit's fire, right? We in here. Make sure you guys visit BluezVille.com. Make sure you sign up to our subscription list. Follow us on all social medias, and make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you stream your wherever you stream your podcast platforms. Right? Whew. All right. Now we can get into today's subject matters. What do we want to talk about?